Yeah, man, it's like you said in the comment, clearly identifying the problem. The sources that you end up with, though, regarding martial law and federal emergency management, you're going to find a very difficult time in trying to clearly identify anything. Let me give you a case in point. October 16th, 2008. Yes, the past. Over 2 years ago. Was when the National Guard, the last time, was supposed to institute a state of martial law. And then Alex Jones's website even went so far as to have a source declare that the New Jersey National Guard had sealed off New York City. And man, it all, like a little spool of circles all whipped up and everything, and here was me trying to reply to it. I was like, okay, well, if this is really the case, people, I mean, in this age of cellular phone communication, don't you think there'd be some pictures up on the internet? Like, maybe just a couple of sources, but everything still worked, and, here we are 2 years later. You'll just find a lot of difficulty in accuracy of the sources. And in the majority of cases, you'll also discover that it will lead to something. And there'll be a cycle. I'm going to say about a 3 to 4 month cycle. Like there's a certain distance to the amount of time that people make an advance prediction of calamity. It's sufficient enough to where you could either prepare, do something, or not do something. But it's not so close that we need to pull the trigger, and it's always that distance. And the deadline comes and goes. There will be a deadline one day. That's the problem. Where else am I going with this? The core of martial law and other emergency powers. I don't know your background, and you don't necessarily know mine, but let's talk about public servants for a moment, like law enforcement officers, military personnel, and some of the terrible things they have to do, and things of that nature. We'll go ahead and include medical persons as well. In an emergency situation, normally there tends to be, on a normal basis, there tends to be a great deal of delay and bureaucracy in action. However, in an emergency situation, those delays, so to speak, are bypassed. A good example would be a fire department with a house on fire. They don't need a search warrant to bust your door down and go in there. They'll go in there and put the fire out. Other part is, if a law enforcement officer during times of disaster sees a person where that law enforcement officer doesn't seem to be, he may search that person, shake that person down, do all kinds of things in order to discourage them from the area. If law enforcement officers see people gathering non-peaceably, you'll also see them take methods to divide those people, to limit their movement, and things like that. In that sort of a case, it's very easy to armchair quarterback and look, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, just like that phone call that George Bush allegedly got from that company agent saying, hey, we think this guy has more information and we'd like to use enhanced interrogation, and Bush is like, go for it. When you're the guy on the ground trying to do your best to make things right in a terrible situation, things happen, and when you analyze those things, either things that truly happened in the past or imagine the things that somebody could possibly be capable of, you can end up going down a pretty weird path. I'm not closed-minded about any of it. I have a very open mind, and living in Florida, I need to have a very open mind, because the prospect of martial law is very much a reality for us. And you know, we can make ourselves damn crazy, thinking, oh gosh, you know, next time a hurricane comes through, you know, who's to say when they impart all these curfews and cut off movement to certain areas, you know, who's to say that they'll rescind those orders and let things go back to normal? I mean, you can really, really make yourself crazy. It can really, you've heard of post-traumatic stress, right? There is also such a very real thing as pre-traumatic stress. And pre-traumatic stress can actually lead to shell shock as things begin to bombard you that you can't do anything about. That's just to clarify my position on it. Again, I'm sure it goes without saying, it's definitely nothing personal, by no means, and I hope that none of the people that follow me are seeing it as personal towards you either. And I also run low on gas. I also very much recognize that it's easy for me to say, in that I already know quite a bit about such things, and I've kind of been down that path to say, oh, you don't want to go there. But that's it for now. Video responses and comments open. Y'all be good.